Welcome to C-Suite Sherpas, where we shine a spotlight on business experts and resources that you should know. Today, I'm excited to have a special guest, Tony Schiano, who is the founder of Antos Environmental. And their specialty is reducing your carbon footprint while reducing your costs. So, Tony, thrilled to have you here today. If you're good with it, we'll jump right in.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ron. Thanks for your interest and your time.
Awesome. All right. Can you give us, we'll start off by saying, can you give us a snapshot of what your business is and the major outcomes that you get for your clients?
Absolutely. I'll talk a little bit about where it came from. I was a hospital administrator many years ago, and during the AIDS epidemic, my healthcare organization had an enormous reaction to their waste streams. They just increased costs dramatically, and there were really no regulations back then. So I got involved with it. And when I saw an opportunity, I left my job and I became the third licensed hauler of what was then called regulated medical waste in the United States.
Wow.
And in a very short period of time, I realized that we were laughing all the way to the bank because the behavior in healthcare organizations wasn't that great. I sold the company and I started helping organizations with their behavior and with waste reduction. And back then, it was a very innovative concept. Believe me, Ron, nobody was interested in reducing waste in the early 1980s, but they were interested in reducing their costs. The basic premise, you don't pay for what you don't throw away. And
Right.
I had a very powerful belief system that there's no place called away and we could do a better job. So I started helping organizations and started speaking about this at hospital association annual meetings across the country. And it really started to take momentum. I thought I would do it for a couple of years and then get another CEO suite job somewhere. And that was 40 years ago. Since then, we've been driving the movement of waste reduction, landfill avoidance, waste to value, really trying to create an evolution in the thinking of industries. And today, we service healthcare, university settings, manufacturing, and now we're in aviation. All of those industries have a very sensitive view of their image. And polluting is not very friendly to your image. They're trying to promote this commitment to the environment, and that's what we're all about.
And really, it's about not just reducing costs, that's a huge impact, but it's also about just doing the right thing and really being a good steward of our resources, right?
It's so interesting that you said that because that nails it right there. And you'd be surprised how many people don't actually want to do the right thing. But I think that's beginning to have another trend because if you can save a lot of money and behave appropriately and really take a viewpoint that caring for our natural resources is no longer a joke. Believing in climate change is about understanding the science. It's not about believing. This is not Santa Claus. It's not, do you believe in Santa Claus? These are scientific pieces of data that you really have to understand. And when you and I, well, when I was born, there were 2 billion people on the planet. Now there's about 8. So the amount of impact and pollution and waste material, it's unimaginable, to be honest with you. It's a kind of moral compass that organizations have to take. And as long as we're driving their costs down, they're able to stay focused. And at some point, maybe in my lifetime, we'll have a new way of being. We'll be able to understand that we could be conscious capitalists. We could make money, we could do business, but we can also care for our future. And that's my goal.
That's awesome. So what would you say sets you and your business apart from maybe other people that do similar things?
That's another interesting question. I've been in this business for 38 years.
Wow.
And only once did a prospective client of mine say, we got another proposal from someone and we have to ask you to sharpen your pencil. I don't really feel, I want to feel competition. Right now, I'm a big supporter of all of these young sustainability directors and consultants that are in this space, because I want to help empower them and help them believe that they could make a difference like I have felt my entire adult life. But it's the waste hauling company, it's the waste disposal companies that use this language to try to convince their clients that they're going to help. But waste disposal is not waste management. They have a different agenda. They're trying to pick up as much as they can and bill you as much as they can. The guy with the truck, if he tells you, I want to help you with waste reduction, I want to help you with recycling, I want to help you compost food waste, that's like the mice guarding the cheese. That's the last person that you want to let in your building, right? Because of their agenda. And most of them are public companies, and they're multi-billion-dollar companies. They're very powerful. They try to keep me out, Ron. They push as hard as they can. That's my competition, and it's not competition. As a matter of fact, I'm hoping that someday landfilling will be against the law almost. The idea that we're landfilling waste, that's like Fred Flintstone. How dare we take waste material and stick it in a hole in the ground and
Right.
think that's okay? It's not okay.
Right.
And I'm in a great space because I get to look at technology globally. I just got back from Milan and I saw this machine that turns waste into a kind of cotton candy like fabric, and they're blowing it into a boiler and creating fuel. Like, that's, to me, is evolution. And I hope we're heading in that direction.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Singapore has a really unique way of handling waste as well.
I was just there. We just were doing audits and trying to get our arms around a lot of things in Singapore, but they're very progressive and very innovative. And you have countries like Norway and Sweden that are generating energy for their entire population from their trash. Come on. We're just allowing, because we're America, we're just allowing these companies to make billions of dollars in landfill waste. And it's absurd. It's just absurd.
Yeah. When we could solve it in a very closed loop recycling, right? It just,
100%.
that's pretty incredible. That's a great vision, by the way. So, what is the biggest challenge right now that your industry faces, and how are you helping your clients to tackle that challenge?
Another good question. There's a couple of answers to that. Of course, money, greed. To be quite frank, I don't mean to be disrespectful to anyone, but at this point, everyone is looking for money, right? So that drives their thinking. But the biggest challenge is human behavior. It's like trying to lose weight, stop smoking. Hey, this year I'm going to run a marathon. All those things, they come out of our mouths really easily. But to actually make that all happen, it takes a methodical plan. And that's what we do, right? We enter an organization, and my contracts are at least 5 years. I was at a health system in New York for 15 years. They never wanted us to leave, because the essence of our work is about cultural transformation. It's about transcending the minds of the humans so that they realize that they can behave differently to achieve greater outcomes. It's just like our health, right? If we eat really well, we're going to have better outcomes when we take our blood tests and get on the scale. And this is a very similar thing. And humans are difficult. Humans are tough, and it creates the challenge in any organization. But when you're in environments like universities filled with young people, these young minds, they understand exactly what I'm saying. And I'm really hoping that we can weave this education into the educational system so that we can create a different kind of leader that thinks differently, so that these morals and ethics around caring for our natural resources is weaved into the fabric of their character. And I think that's the ultimate goal for us so that we could save this planet of ours, or at least save our humanity.
Yeah, that's great. All right, I'm going to shake it up a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Viewers to try to get a chance to know you at a different level, maybe a little more
Absolutely.
personal level. So I'm going to ask you a series of lightning round questions. Just give me the first answer that pops to mind. All right,
Sure.
ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, coffee or tea?
Coffee. Absolutely.
It's been almost unanimous, by the way, everybody I've talked to.
Espresso, if I can get it.
Cats or
Dogs.
all right. If you could only grab one weapon or item during a zombie apocalypse, what would that be?
It would be a Beretta 1301
Nice.
automatic tactical shotgun. Thank you.
That is nice. Favorite quote or phrase that you think about often?
I like mine. There's no place called away, because I do think about it often.
Okay. What's your favorite movie or streaming series?
Oh boy, there's a couple that I love right now. One is The Lioness, and the other is The Old Man. And my favorite movie, it would be a toss up, but Unforgiven with Clint Eastwood.
Okay. Wow. Going back a
Yeah,
little. All right.
yeah.
Favorite book?
Favorite book. I just finished reading the series by Jack Carr around James Reese, which the first book was turned into a series on Prime called The Terminal List. And it was 7 books, and I just finished all 7, and they were fabulous.
Wow. Oh, that's very cool. I'll have to check that out actually.
Yeah, do that.
All right, one bucket list item that you've already accomplished and one that you haven't yet, but it's at the top of your list.
That's a great question, because last year I'm a motorcyclist.
Hmm.
I drive Ducati and BMW type motorcycles, and last year I bought the latest Ducati Multistrada, which is a bike, all terrain bike.
Yeah.
And myself and 2 good buddies left New York, and we drove to the northern waters of Alaska and back. And it was 14,000 miles. We were out for 6 weeks. We did a number of parks, Glacier Park, etc. Went up to Banff, went up to Jasper, went into the Canadian Yukon, did the Denali Alaskan Highway, and then rode all the way up 3,000 miles of gravel and put our hands in the water of Prudhomme Bay. It was a bucket list dream, and I'm happy I did it.
That is incredible. That's so cool. By the way, two of my favorite places in North America, Banff and Jasper.
Oh boy, both of them are amazing, and they're so
Yeah,
different. I think I like Jasper a little more. It was a little more gritty, a little more connected to nature.
right.
Banff was beautiful. Wow, amazing hikes. What a beautiful town.
Yeah. All right. Biggest obstacle that you've ever had to overcome and the lesson that you learned from it.
I think being an entrepreneur, I mean, I was in the military, so I had those typical kind of military challenges. But when I became an entrepreneur, you're really challenged. Being an entrepreneur is like jumping off the highest mountain and building a plane on the way down. It taught me so many things, because you get knocked down, but then you get up again, and then you get knocked down, and then you get up again. And I was creating something that was never created before, in this idea of sustainability. My business started before the word was ever used.
Right.
I just received a lot of resistance until I started saving people money, and then I was everybody's friend. But I think being a businessman and an entrepreneur has taught me so much about life. And of course, the second thing I could say is parenting. I love parenting. I have 5 children, and I really have enjoyed that side of my life. It's been very challenging, but it's been the most rewarding thing ever.
Oh, that's great. By the way, grandkids are the best.
I have 2, and I do love them. Yeah.
That's awesome. So if I might ask, what branch of the military were you in?
I was in the Army. I had some special skills, so I worked with the Special Forces and Green Beret, and it was during the Vietnam era. I didn't really do any combat. I was in more the training aspect of the men who went over there. I spent a good deal of my life there doing that
Well,
stuff.
thank you for your service, by the way.
Oh, appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. So the most important question, if our viewers would like to get a hold of you, what's the best way to get in touch?
They can email me at tshafano@antosinc.com. And antosinc.com is my website, and my information is on there. Or certainly anybody can call me, and my number is 518-281-3300. I'm really easy to get a hold of. And if you can't reach me, leave a message or shoot me an email.
All right. Just to clarify, so it's TS as in Sam, Chifano is Tony's first part of his email.
That is correct.
All right. Perfect. Just so everybody doesn't spell your last name wrong there. All right.
Thank you.
Any other things to add before we close out?
Nothing much. I appreciate this time, and certainly, again, your interest. Wish everyone a wonderful Thanksgiving and happy holiday. And if you're really interested in creating a different way of being as you run your business, we can talk about it. Give me a call.
Awesome. All right, Tony, thank you for your time and your insights. It's been a pleasure and it's been very interesting. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thanks so
All right,
much.
man.